See today, first we are going to understand the process called cascading process. See basically cascading is nothing but based on one property value we can filter and display the records in the other property. For example, general example in many web applications, we see country based on country we can pop the state names, or based on state we can populate and display the city names. Okay, so that is nothing but cascading. So first of all, on some property, on drop down value, on selecting some drop down, it will filter and display the values for the other drop down. It is going to filter and display the values. So that is nothing but cascading. See already for the state property, records are dynamic records are added. Okay, so based on state now, so we are going to filter and display the records in the city property. We are going to filter. Okay, see for example, if some state is selected as Karnataka, it should only display the Karnataka cities only, it should populate. Okay, if Tamil Nadu is selected, it should only display the Tamil Nadu city names. Okay. So like that, any particular value selected under the state, so based on that only it should filter and display the values in the city property. But only thing is, so for the city also we need to create a data storage. We need to define manually record should be there. Okay, they may load using file, or manually they can enter some records. So if records are there, then only we can perform these actions. So what we are going to do first is, we'll be creating a city table, and in we are going to exactly the state matching with the state value. We'll assign some records, city values, like suppose with Karnataka is city names we enter. Tamil Nadu is there. Some relevant city names must be there in the data storage. Then we can dynamically fetch and fit and display them in the data. So let's see, process simple only. And this thing we can do either using report page. Actually, I'm going to try both scenarios. See, first I'll try using report definition, and same requirement how to configure using data page also we are going to try. So one thing is, when you're doing this requirement, compulsory again parameters are required, because see, what is the use of parameters? I said in the previous example, if you're using parameters dynamically, whenever input is changed or whenever input is updated, it will automatically perform that action. So whenever these filter conditions are applied, 100% cases will be using these parameters. And in this requirement also, we must compulsory use parameters we have to use. Okay, both if you use report definition or if you use data page, so in both the cases you need to use parameters we have to use. Okay, so we'll understand today how to implement this requirement. Like that, you can try for some other properties, like based on country, populate the values for the state property. Okay, or based on some pin code and area, like that you can populate. Like that, you can try one for some other one or two properties. You can try the same scenario. Let's see. And when doing this requirement, so first we'll start with data storage, because we don't have any city storage not there. So first we'll start city storage, like I'll creating a data type. Another thing is, when you're getting mainly cascading the data, when you're going to do, see for the in the state table, what is the class key property is there, the same property we have to map it in the city also. Is we need to use the state code property in city table also we have to use. The reason is, here we are going to cascade the data, right? Whenever we cascade the data in the state table, what is the class key property we have, same property we need to use it in the city table as a foreign key. Okay, suppose if you use one property which is there is a class key, same property if you use in other table, it will become foreign key in the exam. It will not to specify but any if in mother table, so it, and here it is must because based on state value we are going to cascade up for the city property, right? Let's see, you'll understand once we do that, you'll understand simply. Already for the state property dynamic records are there, okay, either previously last the configuration. So already for the state property records, we are going to add dynamic records for city and filter them based on state value. Okay, the requirement for city is add load dynamic records and filter them based on state value. Okay, that is the requirement here. So first thing we need to do is we need to create a data type here. So add a new data type. Go to this option, add data type. Okay, so give a name, city table or cities table. In the document, what is the name I have? Let me check. Okay, same name is there. Okay, so give a name, and this I'll be creating at organization level. I'll be creating. So open advanced settings. See, by default, division data layer will be there. So change that to organization data layer. Then okay, columns required. One is city name need to city code, city name two fields, and we'll be using the state code prompt as a foreign key. So three columns are required. State name is not required. Only state code is a class key in state table, right? And that we need to use in this city table. So give the names columns. And one more column is state code. Now, the next step is, so set the source here, go to records. See here, city code will set as the class key. Configure source and enable this checkbox. City code I'm setting as a key and submit this. And try to manually add some records in this table. Once table is generated, manually add these records based on the state records assigned to the city table. Okay, submit, and just you can close the window. So you'll get the column source, you'll be getting column information. Okay, here you may get a property column names in a different order. If you want to change the order of columns, you can do. See here I need a city name after city code, so that I want to modify. So you can see edit columns will be there where we can rearrange the column order. So just drag this city name after city code. Submit this. See in my state table, let's check what are the records I'm having. Based on that, I'm going to give the records for the city values. Because here what are the state names I have, based on that I'm going to give some records in the cities table. These are the records I'm having in my state table. So for this only we have to configure the city values also. So manually add some records so that we can, once we execute any data, we can verify the condition is working or not. So like that, add some other records for the remaining states. Okay, you can give your own set of records, no issue. Okay, actually for each state some two set of records are given, so we can just execute the filter condition after the report definition or after data page is defined. So you can just add some set of records. Now you can close these tables. So we are loading dynamic records and filtering for the city, right? So if you have any static records for the city property, you can remove them. So open city property. So remove static records. How to remove? Earlier I discussed one scenario. So just what are the table type option we have? Select as none. Select the table type as none. Save this. Now we are going to do this requirement first using report definition. I told you earlier, wherever records are there, there only we need to define the report. So earlier, if you remember, when you are fetching any data from state table, under the table class report is created. Similarly, so now also, so add this cities table to pinned classes. So open manually first and add this to pinned classes. And under this table, I'll be creating the report definition. Okay. And later you can just replace with work layer. Now report will be defining under cities table. Right click on this. Okay, if you want, once again I'm going to give the requirement. See here, we are going to cascade the records based on state value. It will filter and display the records under the city property. Okay, so that is called cascading. So after the table is generated, assign some records. Then if any static records are there for city, you can remove them and add your table class to pinned classes. Then under the cities table, we are going to add a report definition, and compulsory we need to define parameters in this. Okay, give a name, click on open. So first you can go to tab. You need to choose a type. Text is the type. So coming to the main column source, the column names are city code and city name. In the main column source, we'll give the column names as city code and city name. And here filter condition based on state code property, we are going to apply the filter condition. So here you need to choose state code, and coming to the parameter value is there, right? So select the parameter value. And if you remember the condition in the previous example, when I apply the filter conditions using parameters for the last examples, I told you we need to, so it will only load the data, but display should be empty. When input is selected, then only you should get the display. So what we need to do means, after this parameter value is given, in the settings option, enable this checkbox, use null if empty. So if you enable this, then only it is going to load them, but it will not display any data. After any value is selected or given, then only it will display the records, but initially should be, the record should be empty, it should be null. Okay, so enable this setting and submit. Save this report. Now you can execute this and verify this condition is working or not. Actions and run. So you'll not getting any display now. It will load in the backend, but display will be null. Suppose in the condition now, if you select any value, so particularly for that it will display the records. So what are the value chosen? So based on that, you will be getting the cities values populated. If you update the value, so if it is working here, wherever you map this report definition, there also it is going to work. So if I change the value, so then accordingly it will display the city names in the display here. Okay, so if it is working here, if you map it in the UI level also, this data will be working. So we need to go to a customer design. So after verifying this report, so defining and executing this, open your customer design. So inside the customer design now, open city property settings. Already we have a drop down control. So compulsory cascading if you are doing means, so either drop down or auto complete is required. So already we have a drop down control for city. See, for state already we did this dynamic fetch, right? Now based on state, it will filter the values and display for the city property. Accordingly do the mapping. So when static records are removed, we need to give a caption. Okay, so we need to select this option, include placeholder. You can give a caption, and then so in the list source we are using report definition rule now. So choose report definition, and accordingly we need to fill the parameters. So table class you need to mention. So mention your cities table class. and see after that give report definition name. See, after the report name is given, it'll ask you to provide the parameter value. See here, your parameter name you can say, but what is the value we need to provide is, see, in the UI, based on which property we are going to filter the records for the city. So that is nothing but parameter value, which is nothing but your state property. So here, parameter value we have to pass here is, see here, click on dot in the keyboard. See, dot means I know, I think you know, the keyboard contains a dot option. Okay, like a, if you click on dot in the keyboard, you can see all your user defined properties, like in the work layer what are the properties are there, you can see them, and choose state property. Okay, because based on state only we are going to filter the values for the city property. So give the parameter value name as state property. And here display text and property for value, here also we are loading two set of columns, right? For display text you can give city name, and for property for value you can give city code you can use. Now click on submit. So after filling the required parameters you can submit this. Now save the design. Okay, so verify this condition now. You can execute this customer flow, you can execute and verify from UI level also once. So like that, anytime cascading, if you are going to perform this, these are the steps you have to, maybe any column it is, but process is same always. So within one design you can go for report definition. In more than one design means go with data page. So here see, if I don't select any state, I'll not get any display by default. Okay, see, display should be null. If state is not selected, it should not give any values for the city property. So after selecting state only, it will populate the city values. Okay, if I change the value, then it will filter and display the values for that particular state. Okay, so that is nothing but cascading, very regular process which will be working. Okay, so just practice this, one or two scenarios you can try. Now the same thing we'll do using data page rule. Okay, so I'll be again replacing in the customer design only, but if we have somewhere else, if we have the same requirement, just you need to copy paste these two fields in the some other place. Okay, some other place also, if we have the same requirement for these two properties, we'll do the mapping in one place, but after that just to copy paste these two fields wherever it is required. Again, no need to do the configuration from scratch, right? Just to copy paste these two fields in some other design if anywhere requirements. And if you are using data page means, see, data page will have a means indirect source will be there, that is either again report definition or some other rule we have to use. So already we're having a report definition to fetch the data from the city table, right? And filter condition is also there. What we need to do means use the same report definition inside the data page now. Okay, now the next requirement is try the same requirement using data page rule. Okay, so but inside the data page we need to configure the source, right? So we are going to use the previous report we are going to use. So use existing report definition, so in order to load the data from the city table. Okay, so we'll be using the previous, what are the report just now created, same report I will be using in the data page now. Let's see, and data page also we'll need to create in the same, in the cities table only we need to define. So right click on cities table, data model, data page. Okay, so data page name will start with a prefix. So d underscore get cities. If anywhere if you use the data page name, this we have to use. Open this. So you can, as of now you can go with type only I'm going. But before this, here also I need to define parameters. And when you're giving the parameter name here, see, in this we'll be calling the report definition. So give a different name. You cannot give the same parameter name given in the report definition. At least the character should be different. Okay, some name I'm giving stcd. Already type a string is there, so no need to configure again. So, but give a different parameter from the previous one. Okay, don't give the same parameter in both report definition and data page. So give a different value, that is different parameter name. Now go to definition. So structure will be list. Always we load list of records. List is the structure. So scope I'm keeping thread only. And in the source option, choose report definition. And in the, you can call your report name. Okay, so after the report is given, see here, we need to map the new parameter value to old parameter value. So here you need to open these parameters links after the report definition name is given. So map both the parameters, old and new parameter we have to map. See, it will ask you to assign the new parameter value to the old value. Okay, so here in the drop down you need to the new parameter which is defined in this database. So select in the drop down. This is compulsory required. So map the old value, sorry, new value to the old parameter. So click on submit and save this data page. Now this time we are going to replace this configuration using data page as the main source. So last time report definition is the source configured in the city settings. Now open city property settings. Now change the source type to data page and fill the required parameters. So give the name, data page name. And here also it asks for the parameter value. So parameter value is nothing but state property, and property for display text and property for value, city name, and then city code. Okay, I told that in some other design, if we have the same requirement, copy paste these two fields in the other designs if it is the same transaction, because thread type I use. If it is from same transaction means, then copy paste this in the some other design. If it is the same transaction, if it is a different transaction means you need to go with node type. Okay, so just verify output will be same, no change. Once again run the customer flow. So output will be same, no change. If you're not giving any state value, that is, if you're not selecting any state and directly try to access city, you cannot populate them. After particularly selecting any state, then only you'll get the city values populated. Okay, so that is nothing but cascading process, either using report definition or using data page. You can try them. Okay, so you can try this example. So cascading process will be always same, maybe column names may be different. So try this for same, some country state also you can give a try, or pin code area, like that some other columns you can configure and you can try for the other columns also. Okay. So any questions up to here? Any questions? See, which is best practice, what I told you earlier, right? In data page I told you in the previous week session. So in more than one design means go for data page. Only in one design if you get the requirement, go with report definition. Somewhere else in some other pages also, if you get the same requirement, cascading requirement, you need to go for data page. Okay? And based on which in same transaction or different transaction, accordingly you have to specify the data page scope. Okay, whether it is thread or node or requester, you have to specify where you are going to use. Okay, already I discussed in the data page, right, in detail. So you can try that. Okay, so next topic I'm going to take about other obj method, very very important method, which is obj save functionality. Okay, so save is nothing but inserting or updating the records. Okay, if you want to insert the records or update the in existing record which is there in the table, so we have to use this functionality, this method and all. See, but obj save before using this method. So first of all, the data will data, if it is there in the differ queue, or if the data is there in the work table, or if the data is there in the clipboard. See, when you use property set method, what happens? So it will first of all assign to clipboard page, and from clipboard it will go to the work table. Okay, so what this obj save will do means, from the work table, if you want to permanently save the record to the data storage or data type, so then we have to use this method. Okay, so here whenever we perform this insert action or save action, so first of all, the UI data only using obj save, it will not save to the data type. So first of all, we need to include the property set method. Property set, inside that we have to define the properties, for which properties or for which columns we are going to perform the save action. So then only we can use obj save. What obj save will do means, from clipboard page it will map the data to the data type, or in the background means we can also say work table, but physically your data you can check it in the clipboard level, right? That's why I'm giving this picture. So your data, after using property set, it will go to the clipboard page. Again, from the clipboard page, if you want to save the data to the data storage means, then we need to use obj save method. Okay, so application to clipboard means, first we need to use property set method, and from clipboard to the data type, if you want to map the records means, we need to use obj save method. Okay, so let's see how this functionality will work, that is how this method or functionality will perform. So I'm going to take existing UI design that is customer design I'm going to take, but I'm going to choose only selected fields. In customer design there is many fields are there, but I'm going to do this exercise for only for selected fields. I'm going to do, if you want to do for every field in your UI design, you can do guys, no issue, but here I'm only taking some selected fields and I'm going to map the data to the data type. Okay, see, requirement is here. So insert the customer design property values to the customer table, and here compulsory any insert action if you want to perform in application, so based on class key only. See, in every data type some class key property will be there. If you want to define data type without class key, we cannot define. So based on class key only we can insert any data to data table. See, in the table I'm going to use a property called customer id. See, customer id is not there in the customer design. So what I'm going to do means, see, for this customer ID property, I will assign the work ID value. I'll assign as a default value. See, work ID value will be unique for every transaction, so that there is no chance for any duplication. So to the customer ID property, I will be assigning the PYD value. PYD means work ID value. Whenever I run the transaction, I'll be getting some number, right? So CIFN or AIFN, some number we are getting, right? That work ID value will assign to the customer ID, and remaining properties I'm going to choose like first name, last name, some city and age properties I'm going to take. Okay, so if you want, you can take every field you have used in your customer design, every field you can add it in the table. But how many number of fields we take, also process is same, right? So I'm only showing for some 4 or 5 fields I'm going to show. But if you're trying in the real time means, every field you must be, it must be there in the data type also. Okay, so first of all, add a data type. Already UI design is there. So I'm going to add a new data type again. See, I told that data types I'll be creating at organization level. Okay, mostly data types in real time also will be creating at organization level. Any reusable properties only for your application means you can go for division level. Otherwise, data types will be creating at organization level only, will be creating mostly. So I'm giving some name as a customer table and update the parent class to organization data layer, and under this I'll be defining this table. And coming to the fields, so I'll be adding some 4 to 5 fields, but if you want to add all the fields which are there in the customer design, you can add, no issue. But I'm only trying for some 4 to 5 fields only I'm trying. But additionally I'm going to include this customer ID also, and I'm taking as text only. Text will support number also in Pega. So then I'm taking these fields like F name, L name, and this I'm setting as integer. And one more field I'm taking. But if you want to take all the fields from your design, you can take. Okay, no issue. So city text only, and set the source here. Customer ID I'll be setting as a key. Go to records and configure source. So set customer ID as a class key and submit this. So table is generated. Now you can rearrange the order, column order. Actually, it will be in a different order. It will be created. So you can rearrange. So first column always you will be getting your class key column. You will be getting as the first one, and later remaining if you want to customize the rearrangement, if you want to do, go to actions and edit columns. I can just drag the column positions. Okay. Now to this table we are going to map the records from the UI design. Okay. So now go back to App Explorer and we'll be creating activity rule. Already UI design is there. So directly you can create activity. So go to technical. So add activity. See, in this we need to define pace and classes because we are mapping the records to table, right? So in pace and classes, we need to, whenever we use property set method compulsory, so to which table we are mapping records, we need to define table name. So data hyphen customer table, and give some reference page to this. Any name you can give as a reference page. So first define this table name and give some reference page name for the table. And if you are using any new user pages, if you are defining, so you can add this page new, page remove, you can include in the first and last steps of this activity. You can add page new, the user page is customer details, and last step of activity you can include page remove. Okay, now in between these two we are going to configure the new methods. Okay, so here first step is, see in order to assign the data to clipboard page, we need to use property set method. So property set first you need to define. See, in property set method, how many fields are there in table? For all the fields, we need to map the records. So in the, see, expand this property set. See, here I can add only the property column names I have in the table I can add. So in the left side, always remember in the name option, we'll define the table properties. See, when step page is defined, if you click on dot option, you'll get all the table columns. So you can include one by one, any order you can add. I'm using customer ID. So what are the fields I take in the data type? So you can include all these under this property set. See, which are not taken in the data type, I cannot include here. Okay, these are the fields I have taken in the table. So that's what I said. If you want to include the remaining fields also in the table, you can include all the fields which are there in your customer design. Okay, but I'm only doing this exercise only for the first few fields. Okay, now map the properties in the right side. So right side we need to map the work class properties. So UI data we are mapping to the data type. Okay, so first of all, so customer ID same property is not there in the work layer. Okay, but I want to map work ID value to the customer ID property I want to map. So here in the drop down, see, in order to choose these current class properties, Pega contains one default page called primary. Okay, so anytime current class properties if want to map, so we'll be using a page called primary. See here, in patient classes, we didn't particularly mention work class name and pwork page. Actually, for the work classes, pwork page is a default page. Suppose if you particularly mention in patient classes means you can use pwork page dot property name you can choose, but that is not mandatory every time. So without using defining pwork page, so you can current class properties not only in this class, suppose in some other activity if you create in data class or integration class, current class properties if want access, there is a Pega contains a default page called primary. So using that primary, so under which class you are creating activity, so current class properties we can access from using primary page. So here work layer properties if want access now, so primary will refer to work layer in this scenario. And see, under the work layer only predefined properties list also will be there. So choose PYID, primary.pyd, because work ID value we are assigning to customer ID. Okay. Else if you want to add a property customer ID, you can add in the work layer and you can map it in the UI. Same property also you can include. Otherwise, you can map these like PYD mapping in this scenario. Remaining properties same are there. Okay. Remaining first name is there in the UI, primary dot l name, then we have primary dot city property, then primary dot age. So same properties in the left hand side, what are the field is there, same property work class property we need to map it in the value option. So after using this method configuration, so data will ascend to the clipboard and from there it will map to the work table. Okay, so property set what it will do we know, right? Earlier I discussed in the previous classes. So property set using this, the data will ascend to the clipboard first and from there it will ascend to the work table it is going to ascend. So now after this property set method, use obj save method, and obj save though we contain parameters, for this scenario no need to fill any parameters. Okay, just use the method name internally, method will have all the functionality, so it will perform that action. So if you're using obj save after property set, so then the properties whatever we assign here, so what are the values we give for these properties, so these values will again, first of all it will go to clipboard right after the property set. Again from the clipboard the data will assign to the table properties it is going to assign after using this obj save method. Okay, now save this activity, but activities after creating we need to call wherever it is business logic is required, so there we need to call. So for this scenario, so we'll be calling this activity in the flaction rule we have to call. See, these properties are under customer design, so open customer flaction, you need to open customer flaction. See, activities will be calling in the action tab. See, here you will be getting pre and post processing. So here in these cases, see, generally activity here when it should execute means after giving input and submitting the form, then it should read the activity. So in the post processing, it will read this activity. So we need to call your activity details here under run activity. So customer save activity we have to mention here. Okay. So if you call it in the flaction, what happens means after giving input and submitting the form, it will read these activity methods and perform the action in the background. So whether it is working or not, you can run the customer flow and verify. we can execute the customer flow design and verify. See, but in the customer flow, we're having all these fields, right? But in the table level, we didn't map for every field, we didn't map only for some particularly selected fields only. I did the mapping, but in the real time means every field we are going to map. Okay, we don't skip any, but in your application, do it like every field if you want to do, you can do. And this value, whatever here generated, this will assign to the customer ID. Okay, because this is the work ID value, and I have given PYD as the value for the customer ID, right? So this will assign to the customer ID property, and remaining parameters whatever we give, so the other values will map to the. So even though if I give input for these fields here, so these values will only save to differ queue. That is, I'll tell you what is differ queue, I'll tell you, or work table we can call. So if time is there, I'll tell what is differ queue and all. So, and what is the other one is city is there, right? If city, if I want to choose compulsory, I need to select state. So select some value and just give some records and submit. So compulsory, what are the column names are there? For that I have given the input. Okay, and submit and check it in the table now. Open data types, customer table, right? So open customer table and see these records are showing in the records column or not. Okay, so what are the records submitted in that form? So those are connected to this table. Okay, so like that, once we do this mapping, any save action if you want to perform like this, see save action mostly for every UI design you'll be performing. Okay, so only thing is in the property set for which columns you want to use this save action, just include all the column names and it will automatically, after that if you use obj save, it will perform that action. Okay, so like that, obj save and property set, these two methods will be any save action if you want to perform. So these two methods will help you to perform the, so without writing any query, so we are going to do this action. Okay, so once again I'll quickly repeat. So whenever we perform any save action, so your data, once we use property set method, it will go to the clipboard page. Okay, and from the clipboard, first of all, it will be there under PY work page, and from there it will go to the, see for every table some reference page will give. Okay, then the data will go to the reference page in the table, and after using this obj save method, your data will be permanently saved in the data table. Okay, or data type we can say. So these two methods, property set and obj save, are the two methods, so which will help you to perform save or update actions. Okay, so that's we did in the backend. Now one small thing is there. So there is something called transactional and non-transactional. Okay, so just we'll understand that. See what are the process we applied now. This command are actually transactional processing. See what is transactional means. See if you call your save activity. See not every activity, but anywhere if you use obj save method in your activities. So any save activities obj save method if it is there in activity rule, and if you call it in the flaction in older versions, actually we'll be calling in flow also by using some shape called utility shape. But from 8 version that is not recommended. See in flow shapes you'll be having one shape called utility. In before 7, like before 8 version, up to 7.1 or 7.2 versions, we'll be calling activities in the flow also by using a shape called utility shape. But now it is not recommended in the present version. So now mostly we'll be calling in the flaction level. Okay, see if you call your obj save activities in flaction, it come under transactional processing. What is transactional processing means? It will perform commit operation automatically. What is commit means? See here in the, in some scenarios what happens means in the flaction rule where we are calling, see internally after every flow shape some commit method will apply automatically in the backend. See what is commit means? See if you are using obj save method also, suppose if you perform these save activities in some other rules like in declarator rules or some service rules will be there in the future, we'll be calling an agent some other rules. So there if you call your activities means commit manually we have to implement, because in agent rules or in integration services or in some declarative rules, automatically commit will not apply. But why commit is applying here in this process means, because in every flow we call this flag action in the assignment connector. In assignment connector, if you call the flag action, in every flow shape by default commit will be there. Okay, internally the new harness will be there. What is new harness and all, I'll tell you. So new harness will automatically perform the commit operation in the backend. So in the flag action, if you call your activity, automatically it commit will apply. So whenever we use any save activities, and if you call it in the flag action means, separately no need to use commit. So that is nothing but we'll be calling as transactional processing. In transactional processing, separately no need to use commit, because there are some other scenarios where we'll be after obj save method we'll be applying some commit, but commit method is there, that is not recommended. We'll be using some API. Maybe after one to means in the after tomorrow session you'll get that scenario. So whenever we have any non-transactional processing, then we'll be using this commit API or commit predefined activity will be there, that we are going to use. So when we have to use means, if any services, if you call this save activities, or in agents declarative rules, or in other activities if you're calling your activity, then compulsory we need to use commit, then only it will perform the action. Because so there is something, if we don't use commit, what happens means the data will be stored in the differ queue. Differ queue is similarly nothing but work table. Even after using obj save, what happens means, if you call in any of these rules like services agents or declarative rules, so manually if you use commit, then only the data will be showed in the data type. Okay, if commit is not used when you call your activities in some of these rules, then the data will be there in differ queue only. Okay, differ queue is nothing but work table, guys. Okay, so like that. So there are some scenarios where transactional processing will be there, where no need to use commit, and in case of non-transactional processing, manually we need to use commit. Okay, but there are some methods, commit methods are there. Commit right now, some APIs are there and some methods are there. So these we don't recommend it, these are all not recommended. But know the difference between commit and right now. Just one statement I have given, that is enough, because we don't practically use them in the any real time scenario, we don't use them. But methods will be there. Commit is a method, and right now is an option available under obj save parameters. In obj save method parameter, you'll get an option called right now option. So using these also we can perform commit. Actually what this method will do is, any uncommitted records are there, all at a time it is going to commit. And right now we'll do commit one record at a time, only it will commit. Okay, the latest specific record whatever is there, only that it is going to commit. Okay, so though we don't practically use them, okay, this one sometimes we may use, but commit method it is not at all recommended. Though in 6 versions and all we use, but in the present versions, so this method is not recommended. Even this one some scenarios we may use, I will show in the coming scenarios. So but difference is, commit will commit all the uncommitted records which are saved in the differ queue, and right now will only commit the latest specific item, only it is going to commit. Okay, and there are some methods called obj save, cancel and rollback. These also we don't use, because these two functionalities, all these functionalities will be there under one API. See, when all the functionalities are there in one API, in Pega I told you earlier, use instead of method, using API is best practice, or using predefined activity is a best practice. Okay, so here for all these things there is one API is available, that is called commit with error handling. I'll be using in the next 1-2 sessions, I'll be using. So at that time I'll discuss more about that. So but what obj save cancel will do means, it will only erase the latest differ queue item it is going to erase. Okay, it will erase the purpose, just know the purpose. In certifications or interviews you may answer them, but practically we don't use them. So what obj save cancel will do means, it will erase the latest differ queue item it is going to erase. Okay, and what rollback will do means, all the uncommitted records it is going to erase. So there are some 10 uncommitted records are there. If you use rollback, all the uncommitted records it is going to erase. But don't, no need to use them independently, we'll be using API, right? In API all these functionalities will be there internally again. So separately no need to use them, just know the purpose of this, that is enough. Because practically we don't use in every scenario. Instead of this we'll be using one API called commit with error handling. So whenever we perform these save actions like save activities, when you're using, if you are calling in the flaction means it is nothing but transactional processing. At that time, no need to use any commit API. Okay, but if it is a non-transactional processing, we will be using the commit API. That if you understand now, that is enough. And when it come under non-transactional processing and how to use that commit API, I'll be showing in the next scenarios I'm going to show you. Okay, so but in this scenario, where did we call our activity? We called in the flaction rule. So whenever we use obj save methods, if you call it in the flaction, so separately no need to use commit, because flaction, when you call it in the flow, automatically in the all the flow shapes commit operation will be applied internally, to apply. So separately no need to use the commit. But if you call it in any of these rules like services, agents, or declarative rules, then compulsory or manually we need to use the commit API. Okay, that you'll understand. Just to know these points, later you'll again understand more about this in the next scenarios. Okay, so that is about these save functionality, guys. So anyways, mostly save activities when you define, we'll call it in this flaction. But any services, if you are communicating, then we have to call it in the service activities, we have to call. Okay, that will work in the coming examples. Okay, and some agents will be there, some declarative rules will be there. At that time also will perform some save action. So then I'll be compulsory using this commit API I'll be using. So go through this. In the next session, I'll again do these one more obj methods will be, some other obj methods will be working, because obj methods are regular methods which we'll be using in the application. Okay, because mainly database connections and all, using obj methods only we are going to perform. So try this example like that. If you want to try for some other design also, you can try. Okay, so like after trying for customer design, so try the save requirement for the vehicle design also. Okay, so in vehicle design some set of properties are there, right? Page properties are there, right? See, in this means single value properties are there. Same thing try for the single page properties also. In customer design means we have single value properties. Try the same save requirement, try to create a data type for the vehicle. If already there, see, already vehicle win table class is there, so no need to create again. Okay, vehicle data class is already there, so you can use the same, convert that to data type, and just map the page property data to the vehicle table you can map. Okay, that also you can try same requirement. So try for the single page properties which are used in the vehicle design. So do the same save requirement for the vehicle design properties, and for the claims design properties also you can try. But if you are trying for claims and vehicle, do it in the same activity, no issue. If you want to try in different activities also you can, but try it in the same activity only you can do. Okay, both the mapping. Okay, only thing is in property set, in the patient classes, both the classes we have to define, and property mapping at a time we can do. In property set, vehicle properties and page properties under same property set you can map. Okay, and method is also same method. Obj save is one obj save is enough. Okay? So do the same requirement for the page properties also, related to the vehicle page is there, right? So do the same requirement for the page properties in the application. Okay, so it will be practice for you apart from this. Okay, so that's for today, guys.